We talked about this story before. The reason why I covered this is because I was a collegiate athlete, for those of you that don't know. And this kind of approach, it wasn't a problem when I was coming up, and I'm not that far removed from my last competitive year. Wasn't even 10 years ago. We're closing in, but it wasn't even 10 years ago, my last collegiate track and field year. But this subject has impacted that sport of track and field maybe more than them all. However, this story that we're covering right now, which we've covered before, has been the topic of conversation because it's just so egregious. Matter of fact, I'm gonna blow this up for you. Y'all don't need that. Let me blow this up for you. Let's take a look. So as you can see right here, it's Leah Thomas, who is the pin. She's the trans swimmer, and she just blew these motherfuckers out of the water in a women's 500 free. And the next person literally just finished just now. So she cleared all of them by, I mean, it's not even close. I know 7 seconds doesn't sound like a lot for you guys that haven't ever competed in anything. But this is the Ivy League championships, and it wasn't even close. 7 seconds is a big ass fucking gap. They weren't even anything close. Now, this thing has continued to go on. There's been rumors here, this anonymous source here, or not source, or anonymous athlete that goes to this college has voiced concern, but they feel like they can't speak because they're afraid of being it wouldn't be homophobic, it'd be transphobe in this sense. And at that point, it's like, okay, do they get what they fucking deserve by feeling like they have to not say anything because of fear of fucking backlash when they know something is incorrect about this? Funny, someone shared this, and this was I think this is what made this case right here so unique, because this was, and when I first covered it, I didn't know this until I covered it, obviously, and I looked more into it. But this person was competing in college, if I'm not mistaken, as a man, and then transitioned. So it's a short period of time, transition, or going through the transitionary period, immediately starts competing as a fucking woman. And I think the only person that is like anywhere close to this person is like another trans athlete. And this obviously depicts this, saying that this person was ranked very low, maybe decent for, I don't know how low that is in terms of how many people are men's swimmers in college. But, this person went from wherever that ranking puts them in, if it's at the bottom, if it's at the middle, wherever that is, and then it's the one. Now, I shouldn't be the one to have to explain to you the fucking difference between men's and women's fucking bodies. I know that everything's interchangeable these days because, hey, social justice, and you can be and identify as whatever that you are. And it's gotten so fucking crazy to the point to where people can't even acknowledge physical advantages at all, or the physical differences between someone that was biologically a man versus someone that was biologically a woman. That just lets you know how far down, let's say, the tracks we are on this crazy train that it is that we are riding. This shit's out of line, man. And it's going to get worse because of, and I think it was Outkick that had the anonymous, I think the swimmer also went to Penn, groups of them that had reached out, or rather they had reported of, but they wanted to remain anonymous because they didn't want to put their names to it, even though they know this is a problem. This idea, or rather approach, is something that it looks so egregious because it's something that's sports. It's something that we're supposed to be able to look at objectively, and you can see it because it's so painfully obvious. But it's infected so many other different things where, because we've coddled people's feelings in regards to any idea, and this ain't like a knock if you are a trans fucking person, that ain't even a knock. It's just that if you can't acknowledge the differences between biological man and biological woman and the advantages that comes with it from an athletic standpoint, dude, what the fuck is all I can say. But the crazier we allow, although let's say this, the longer that we allow this craziness to, let's say, manifest and kind of we perpetuate it, it's just going to get more and more crazier. And you can see this hesitancy among so many people, among different demographics, where they're like, well, I know this is wrong. My eyes are telling me this is wrong. My knowledge base is telling me this is wrong. But because for whatever reason, this culture has accepted that right equals left or whatever, then I can't say anything. That is a recipe for disaster. And if there's something to fear going into the future, it's that, where truth in itself is so controversial that you don't even want to put your name next to it out of fear of, because being right, is, I don't know, you feel like there's some sort of social backlash and it's not worth it. And you rather just go along with something that you know is incorrect and know that something is not right. Now, some people would say, as a solution, hey, why don't all the trans athletes compete? It's probably not enough of them to be competing with each other anyway. So that the solution here, if anything, this is what I honestly think, and I get to speak about this because, again, I was an athlete. I was a collegiate athlete. I'm not talking out of my ass. So if you're gonna have this person, if it's about fairness, if you're gonna have this person be competing against anybody, it makes the most sense that person is competing with whatever they were if they go through all this fucking growth of being a man, they probably should still be competing against them. I don't know what to tell you. It's not like it's enough trans athletes to go around and be having fucking meets surrounded them. You may have the same like handful of athletes that are still doing it. But realistically speaking, it makes no fucking sense for William who transitioned to Leah Thompson to be competing against a bunch of women. There's no reason to do that. And if you can't even, no matter where you at on this LGBT shit, if you can't even acknowledge that, I don't think we should be listening to you for fucking anything. And there are, to be fair, there are people that are trans that have no issues with saying, yeah, physically we're at a clear advantage and we probably shouldn't be competing against natural women. You know what I mean? But holy shit, this is the joke it's not even a joke. It's something that went too far. And now it's the cat's out the bag. It's running around, scratching up the fucking walls. And nobody wants to put their neck on a line that's watching this go down, that are participating in this sport and say, this is fucked up. So at that point, do they get what they deserve? I don't know. You just listened to a clip from my podcast, For Cannon's Sake, which is live throughout the week at 12 p.m. Central on youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. Be sure to check out my website, ericdjuly.com, so you can stay up to date with everything it is that I'm doing. You can also become a member and get access to a bunch of cool perks and exclusive content, which includes a social media hub where you can interact with myself and other members. It even has an app that you can get, which is now live in the Google and Apple stores.